Right, here with Megan Khang after her first round at the DIO Implant LA Open. Really good round for you today. Take us through some of the highlights, maybe that string of birdies there on the back nine.
Let me think about it. Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like I have to remember my round. It was a long day. No, it was pretty solid. I mean, little slow start. Always happy to get par out of the gate, and then obviously starting on the back nine, you kind of get jammed with two par threes. One being a little longer, a little harder, and it didn't help that there was a little weight on the tee box. So hit a really good shot after the long wait, and then wasn't able to make it, but bounced right back by hitting a couple solid shots. Followed up with like two par fives and a shorter par four. So happy to capitalize on those holes.
How good, I know you played well last week, so how are you just feeling about your game this week in general, and what's like sort of been the best part about your game these past couple weeks?
I mean, every week's different, and coming off of last week may not have seemed like I played super well, with the winning score being, like 20 under?
Okay.
I joke with Jack, like 11 under is typically pretty good every other week out here. But, just taking a lot of positives from that, had a rough round the second day, but managed to bring it back to 2 under for the day. And so just kind of taking little positive notes from each round, and kind of just, reminding myself, hey, this is the start of the season, so there's no need to put so much pressure on myself.
What were some of the positive notes for you today from today's round?
Definitely. I mean, compared to last year, the greens are a lot softer, so the ball striking was really well, and distance control was able to do a lot of that, and just kind of wanting to carry that into the rest of the week.
How do you plan to manage when things dry up a little bit, which hopefully they do?
Hopefully they do. I think that's the challenge with a course like this. It is pretty undulated, and being poetic greens, it's going to be a challenge, but I kind of look at it as a challenge for everyone, and you just got to embrace it.
Go ahead.
Was there anything you worked on in your game over the off season?
I mean, my dad's my coach, and I see him nearly every day in the off season. So, I mean, there's not a day that we're not working on something. But with him, he's really particular on, keeping the swing kind of tight and compact and kind of reliable, where, it's something that I can always lean back on and not have to think too much when it comes down to pressure situations. And just kind of keeping the move nice and simple, and really just trusting myself, and just kind of letting it go and have a free mind.
You mentioned having the perspective of 11 under being a good week. How hard is it to balance that versus chasing your first victory and trying to capitalize on those opportunities when they present themselves?
I mean, definitely. Everyone always says, like, the first one's the hardest. And I'll tell you what, like, it's definitely tough. I want to get that first one, and hopefully it won't be the last. But I'm trying to just put my best game out there, and, with everything else, if I do the best I can, like, hopefully it's enough. And then if not, there's a next week that we can go and try again. And so that's kind of the mentality I want to take. Being my 8th year on tour, I think not putting the pressure on myself is definitely going to help me free it up a lot.
Does it almost feel like a weight on your shoulders?
I mean, I've come pretty close here and there, and, I tell myself, like, the more I give myself chances and opportunities, the easier, quote unquote, easier it's going to get being in those situations and trying to get my foot through the door. But I wouldn't say it's like a weight, but, I know I'm capable of doing it, and it's just a matter of time.
Last question for me. I remember last week you were sort of in the lead after the first round, or up near the top, and that's the same way today. What did you learn about last week that you hope to carry on and maybe have a different result this week?
I mean, every week's different, like I said, and every day is different. So just kind of, as much as I'd love to say, do the same mentality today. I'm just going to try to get a good night rest, and, just focus on the task at hand and not think too far ahead, and, have my dad in the back of my mind telling me to just kind of do what I can and not worry about anything else.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.